Dope.
Hey there, everybody listening to 91.5 wuml LOL. I'm DJ Mrob, and this is another interview where I'm interviewing some comedians. I'm very excited. This is to promote the show on Friday, February 4th, with Sam Mangano headlining. I'm featuring Xavier Maurice is opening, and Dominique Jesse James is hosting. I'm joined with Dominique and Xavier now. How are you guys?
Hey, Max. Good to be here. Very excited. Really pumped
Yes,
for this show.
I am too.
Yes, sir. Hey, what's going on? I'm here chilling.
Yeah, it's gonna be
I, I,
fun.
I would say I'm excited, but I feel like that'd be a lie because I don't get excited for much. So, I'm like very chill, ready.
Yeah, very ready for the show. That's also good. I'm a little nervous for the show because, like, I don't know if you guys have seen my social media feed or whatever, but I'm doing a music performance at the same venue immediately before this.
Hmm.
And it'll be my first music show in like 6 years, which is fun. But enough about the other event. I'm very psyched to have you guys on this show. I'm psyched to work with you guys. I guess basic question, even though I think I know, actually, I don't know the answer to this question. How long have you guys been doing stand up?
Dominique, would you care to go first?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely go first. All right. So, I actually, like, the first time I walked into a place and did stand up was in like 2011.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I was going to a couple shows. A friend of mine in my gym, his brother did some comedy, and I was like, "Oh, I've been wanting to do some comedy." So he's like, like he's like, "Let's come to this show. Come talk to my brother." So I went to go talk to him, and he goes, "All right, get yourself a book, write down anything you think is funny, like anything you think is funny that you want to talk about, and like 7 minutes worth of things that you think is funny." I was like, "All right, cool." So a couple weeks went by. I was like, "Hey, I'm still interested." He goes, "All right, cool. Meet me at this spot." This happened to be Broadway Comedy Club, and he was like, "Yeah, you get 7 minutes on this open mic." So did 7 minutes on this open mic and kept going back. And there was always like a thing where the funniest person they'll do uh they'll do a guest spot on the show at that night. But
Hmm.
then the second place person gets to come back, and you don't have to pay for your the 2 drink minimum for your open mic or whatever, New York. So I won the second place thing a couple times, and like I ended up taking some time off because I was like boxing at the same time, so I couldn't really be out late and doing shows and stuff like that when I had important tournaments coming up. So I ended up taking some time off. So it was like sporadic from 2011 to 2014. And then 2014, I moved to Boston and like kind of let it go a little bit. I was still writing jokes, but I wasn't really really doing it. And then 2018, I'm writing a joke on a study abroad trip, and then I come back and I'm telling someone about it, and they're like, "Hey, I know someone that works here, does improv. Like, you should go talk to her." So I went up to this girl, talking to her, trying to exchange numbers and all this stuff. And she was like, "Wait, do you work here?" I was like, "Oh, I should have started with that. Like, yeah, I work here. We were working at like a Whole Foods." And yeah, so then I ended up getting back on stage. Wow, that was a long answer, but
Yeah,
I originally got on stage in 2011 and I got back in 2018.
very
And it's
cool.
gone hard then.
Awesome.
What are you, Xavier?
I started June 17th, 2019. Um,
Wow.
I that was in Somerville, Mass, and I went with my best friend at the time because he was doing like a couple open mics here and there, and he just like recommended it for me. And ever since like that moment, I kind of like really like fell in love with comedy after the show. The that classic older comedian coming up to you telling you about, I don't know, all types of comedy stuff, that kind of bar staple
Yeah.
of
Yep.
the post hang kind of like kicked in, and just really just got into the community. Afterwards, I was living in Boston for the summer, went back to Manchester, New Hampshire, where I really, got to get my comedy sea legs. I'll use that as a term. Yeah. um, and was just working between, being a student like full time and just doing comedy on the side. And It kind of it didn't kill my drive to it didn't kill my drive to want to continue my studies, but when you're sitting in art history,
Yeah.
you're just thinking about the next mic and how you can just make everyone laugh. So it kind of, I don't know, it kind of it gave me more direction at the time.
Absolutely, yeah. It's one of those things that you quickly get addicted to.
Exactly. And I was just, even at the time, we only had like the one open mic in Manchester, every Thursday. And even though I was like, exactly, shout out Laugh Addict.
Yeah.
Dude, and just being in class, just thinking about on Monday, I'm thinking about Thursday, and just getting all that stuff ready was, I don't know, peak, right? Looking back, it's even though it was 2019, peak nostalgia for me.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. And, just working away, grinding at it, pandemic hit, yada, yada, back at it. Yeah, that's kind of how I got into it.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's... And you mentioned the Laugh Addict. That's still there every Thursday at 9? 8?
Yep.
I think sign-up's 8:30, right?
Sign-up's 8:30. Show starts at 9.
Yeah. So if listeners are interested, it's free comedy every Thursday in Manchester. It's a lot of fun. And Ben Davis hosts, and he's wonderful. He's doing a version of this show at the end of February, actually. Which I said this before, but I only keep track of who's on what show because I'm booking out through June, because I have just papers of notes next to me of the lineups and everything. I'm doing one of these interviews almost every week to promote these. I love doing shows at One Broadway Collaborative, where this is going to be, because it's a nice room. It's safe with COVID. There's air purifiers. Everybody's vaxxed. It works, and I know that's not a problem for some people, but some people need that assurance to do a show. So that's fun. Yeah. And Aaron, the guy who runs the venue, is just wonderful. But
I know, I'm pumped.
Oh, what?
Oh, I said, yeah, I'm pumped.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm very thankful for you guys saying yes to do this show.
Yeah.
And it's funny, you were saying that you've only been doing it since 2019, Xavier, but I feel like I've known you significantly longer than that.
Honestly, it feels just the amount of time that we've all been able to spend. I think comedy truly does, I don't know, doing the stand-up truly extends everything. Just feels longer in comedy.
It does.
The hangs, the jokes, especially the open mics. Those open mics do be feeling very, not just long, because the list is just heavy.
The list is heavy. It's long. There's a big hang. I recently started describing comedy, and I know this isn't an original thought. I'm sure somebody else came up with this before I did, but it's the best parts of high school, except you never graduate. Because there's the hang, there's there's a little bit of bullying to kind of get you in the zone.
Yeah.
There's cliques that I don't love that part of it, but there's cliques. It's fun. I love it. And I say that from somebody who enjoyed high school, but
yeah.
But I think I cut Dominique off. So what were you saying?
Oh, I was saying, I agree with all that for sure. But no, I was just saying I was happy to do a show in Lawrence, because I used to work and live out there. When I moved from New York, I moved to Lawrence, Massachusetts. Yeah, and I worked and lived out there, and still got some friends in the area, and they're gonna be stopping by the show.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've had a few of the comedians that I've booked for these shows in general say the same thing, oh, I work in Lawrence, or I live in Lawrence, or I live in North Andover, or I live in Haverhill, or I'm there all the time. It's cool. I'm psyched. Between this and Marlia's shows in Ipswich, I'm psyched to bring some comedy to this area. There's plenty in Boston, there's plenty in Manchester, there's some in other parts of New Hampshire, but the Merrimack Valley area, there's not much.
Yeah.
And I'm not even totally sure why that is, but between doing these shows and having a weekly mic now that's slowly growing, there's a lot to expand on.
Yeah.
Availability, it's hard to get to some of these shows in the Merrimack Valley,
Yeah.
if you don't have a car. If you don't have a car, it's like, ooh, it's like difficult, you know?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. And I can say with not to bring up this internet age, but I truly think the best move forward is to remind ourselves to continue to like stay local with our arts and such. I think it's very easy to get caught up in I know I get caught up in like TikTok and on YouTube and stuff, but
being a national trend.
Exactly. Being able to be around like your local scene of artists in any kind of field really just puts things in perspective. You know, we're so used to being able to see and hear so much, you know, but a lot of times that content that we're like getting, that entertainment that we're getting is so heavily filtered. And I feel like when we're in those local scenes, we're either just we're hearing from like the people, we're hearing from like more so real folks. And whether it's at an open mic, it's really unfiltered. But if you're at like a regular show and stuff, things are still like tightened up. Things are still working out. People are still figuring all their stuff out. But it's still just, I feel like the content is just so much more different. It feels so much more lively, you know?
It does. It does. It's a wonderful experience to be on a stage in front of, let's face it, usually entirely strangers or mostly strangers, and making them be able to relate to you and laugh with you or laugh at you, depending on your style of comedy. There's nothing like it. There's not. And I mean, like you were saying, like putting stuff out on the internet, like I have my album out and I've gotten feedback from people all over the place, but I'm not hearing them laugh. I'm not hearing them appreciate it. I'm just reading this like Facebook message, you know, hey, I heard your album. I'm a rando in Virginia and I loved it. Well, thanks. What are you saying?
Exactly.
The fire emoji.
Yeah, fire emoji.
Yep. Fire emoji, prayer hands.
Yeah.
All that. Yeah. No, it's I don't know. It's as I've been especially with like COVID and stuff, just really keeping that like, I don't know. I feel like we've all kind of like lost touch so much with the within our surrounding area. So being able to come back and, you know, give comedy back to people or even just like have those like talks and stuff is just honestly so rewarding.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And it's, you know, this since COVID, since things have reopened, I should say, because COVID's still going on. But since things reopened and I've been able to go out and do stand-up that's not just in front of my computer screen, it's been interesting for me because, like, I'm booking these shows, I'm running an open mic now, I'm doing more things than I've ever done with comedy. And there's people who, like, I thought I knew for years who were like, oh, it's so good to meet you. It's like, man, like, I remember you going up at the Laugh Attic in, like, 2015 or 16.
Oh, yeah, dude. I've been there.
But it's
been there.
But when you do it and you meet hundreds of comedians, it's easy to forget people.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, I actually have nowadays something that I don't know why I just thought about it, but since Max said he's sitting in front of a computer screen, I noticed that whenever I have an in-person show, I feel like I'm like, what are my on-stage mannerisms? Like, what am I? You know, like this is interesting. You know, it's like, is this what I normally do? Like, do I keep the mic here? Do I move it? Do I normally pace back and forth? Like, I catch myself doing that. And I'm like, and then I'll move the mic stand a couple times, or I'll pace left and right, and then I'll kind of go back and forth. I'm just like, oh wait, what? Like, wait a minute, how do I do this?
Yeah,
I get really nervous about that all the time.
Yeah, it's like riding a bike again. It's you're just figuring it out,
right?
You know. But also, like in comedy, it just I wouldn't even say riding a bike. Doing comedy sometimes feels like unicycle, you know?
Yeah. Especially when you're working out a new joke.
Oh my god, dude! It's like being on a unicycle and you're like juggling pins, and you got like what else? Chainsaws, I guess. I don't know.
Chainsaws. There's a guy behind you always ready to throw a stick in the unicycle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know how to do all these things, but like, oh wait, but do I know how to do all these things? Like, what's going on? You know?
Yeah. Can I do them all at the same time?
Exactly. Yeah, while you're on a tightrope to all that. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
It's amazing, and I love that because I've been booking and stuff. Like I get to work with, I mean, realistically, like some of my favorite comedians, and that I've met at open mics or other shows or wherever. Like it's so exciting, and it's also been exciting. And I know you both personally, so it doesn't apply to you guys. But like, I've also had realistically like 60 or 70 comedians that I've never met send me their tapes, and not this show, but a lot of the shows, especially the showcases I'm doing, I'm booking people that I've never met. I just think their tapes are good.
Nice.
And it's bizarre. It's a little nerve-wracking because, like, I like your tape, but, like, I don't know what your, bedside manner is like. I don't know if you're all right or not.
Killing puppies.
Yeah. And then so far, everybody has been just wonderful.
That's awesome.
It
Usually when you kind of cold call like that, you don't get too much feedback or anything on depending on who, but that's so great, Max. It's like, yeah,
it's
shout
fun.
out.
Yeah. So if you've, I guess I'll say this: if you sent me a tape and I booked you, thank you. And also, if you sent me a tape and I didn't book you, it's not that I think your comedy's bad. It's that I got 60 or 70 tapes and I don't know, I ran out of space. Mm-hmm. Like, don't, if you want to do these shows, and I've had to say this to people, like, definitely reach back out. I have people drop sometimes, and, like, it's not that I don't want to book, X, Y, or Z person. It's just that I don't have the space.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're bad, but also doesn't mean you're good.
Yeah. Yeah, stay humble,
Stay humble.
keep grinding. Just keep grinding.
Yep.
Look at us talking like titans of industry.
Yeah. Between Lawrence and Manchester, we can conquer the world.
Right. I'm out here
Honestly.
in Marblehead. That's where I'm at now.
Where are you?
Marblehead. I'm in Marblehead now. So when people hear like Marblehead, they're like, "Oh, this guy has money. Like, look at this." Like, ooh.
Yeah.
It's not bad though.
Stay in the rich areas, man. Get the cheapest house in the rich area. What's up?
Dude, growing up, I was living that life. We lived in the projects in Arlington, Massachusetts. Very well-off area, but the projects of Arlington, Massachusetts were not. But I got to go to the schools and stuff. But oof, that was a grind. A grind.
That's funny. I got a joke about like everybody like different neighborhoods, and like, oh, I feel like I'm this black dude, so I'm safe in every neighborhood. Every neighborhood, they're like, oh, black, oh yeah, what are they doing here? But then I feel so safe until I come back to my neighborhood, then I'm like, oh God, let me keep my head down, let's keep it moving.
Yeah.
Like, what am I wearing? Am I wearing red? Am I wearing blue? What's going on?
No, exactly. Oh man.
And I do want to plug, because he's not here, I want to mention that Sam Mangano is headlining this show, and he is also just a fun, wonderful human being.
Mm-hmm.
I like that dude. He does music, and
yes.
I heard his album, and I was like, this is dope.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I asked him, he told me about it. I was like, oh, what kind of music you make? He was like, dope stuff, bro. Let give it a listen. And then I gave it a listen. I was like, this is really good. Like, that dude is some of my favorite people on this show, man. I saw the flyer because I didn't know who was gonna be on it. And I saw the flyer. I was like, with these dudes, I'm like, yo, I was so happy.
I'm psyched too, like, because that's when I book these shows, like literally all of them, I'm booking one person at a time. So like, I don't know who's gonna end up on every show. I got a couple be like, hey, don't book me with so-and-so. And it's like, all right, like, I don't need to know why, but, like, you gotta get beef, like, whatever. But for the most part, it's not random, but, like, as far as you guys are concerned, it is. But it's fun that, like, you're not the first person to be like, oh, I'm so psyched that I get to work with, so-and-so, in your case, Sam. It's wonderful. I love bringing people together, and I like, with a lot of these shows, like the showcase on February 20th, like, I have people from Boston and from Maine and from New Hampshire, and like they're all just like that probably don't know each other, but I think will jive well, and it's fun to bring them together.
Yeah. I'm very excited for this show, definitely for like the nostalgia factor, because just going up in Manchester at the time, all the like just always seeing you guys there and performing and being able to just collaborate in a space is super cool.
It's super cool, and it's super fun, and I love too that like everybody. And I'm not trying to badmouth people. That's not the goal of what I'm about to say. But like, I feel like everyone who came back after the pandemic were all of my favorite people. Like, there weren't many people who I was like, I got to see so and so again. You know what I mean? Like, it was just nice. And I don't know if that's like the nostalgia of not seeing anybody for a while or what it is, but it's like every time I see somebody who I haven't seen in a couple of years, I'm like, oh my god, it's you.
Exactly. And that.
I'm happy that I get the show, because when I first moved out here was when I kind of like gave comedy a break, and that's when I was in Lawrence. Yeah. So like some of the people that are coming to the show, they don't know this side of me, you know? So that's gotta be pretty cool for them to see. I mean, they know me as a funny guy and this and that, but like they don't know me as like the guy like on stage. And I've actually moved out here. I think my first group of students are of age to where they can come to shows now.
Dude,
that's exciting.
Dude, hope they can come through.
That'd be cool.
I'm gonna see.
That'd be cool. And this show is for you guys and anybody listening. It's 18 plus, unless you're under 18 and you bring a parent.
Nice.
Yep. Bring those parents' kids.
Yeah, which I have to say, because it's actually funny. On the show I'm doing on April 17th, I have a 12-year-old opening.
Yeah.
Yeah, who like his
awesome.
His mother, who seems very cool, sent me his tape, and I was like, this kid's, for a 12-year-old, he's really funny.
That's awesome.
And his mom's rule was like, anybody can do whatever set they want, like they can swear, they can be, you know, profound, as long as my son doesn't get caught swearing, I don't care what happens. I'm like,
that is funny.
That's on you. Like, I can't make him not swear, but that's awesome.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
Dude.
Yeah, I'm psyched.
12-year-old comic. That's awesome.
Yeah, my heart like melted when I found that out. I was like, if I was 12 and doing this, I would have wanted everybody to say yes, and obviously everyone's gonna say no.
Oh my god.
12.
Yes.
So, yep. Tobin Query is his name, and he'll be doing this on April 17th.
Awesome, dude. I wish I knew to start doing comedy at 12.
Me too.
But also the content, it all just would have been Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. You know, nothing relatable for any audience. Just
You guys ever go to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament at the Elks?
I took Columbus.
Those guys are stinky. Am I right?
Yeah.
Old Spice. Ever heard of it? Come on, boys.
I was dueling a 44-year-old. It made me very uncomfortable.
He told me to go back to the Shadow Realm, and I didn't know how to take that.
Yeah, it scared me. I thought he might have a Millennium item.
I thought I like to play. I got a Legend of Zelda shirt on right now. I used to play that game religiously, and I was like, I had to be one of the cool black kids that played sports. So I was like, I couldn't be friends with the dorky kids that played this. But then when the new one came out, I'd sneak and hang out with them and like play my Game Boy with them, you know? So it's like and I like I couldn't listen to certain rock music. Like I know every word to every song of Blink-182's Enema of the State, but I couldn't go around reciting that because I get roasted, you know?
Yeah, dude, that's the duality of just being a black nerd. Sometimes you got to be closeted, and that's horrifying. Sadly, well, not sadly, I didn't have to do that. Gen Z myself, and dude, I envy that you got to do the sports and the cool stuff, because dude, being a Gen Z kid, being open about how much you like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and hanging out with your friends after school, oh boy, I was like COVID-18 at the time. No one was hanging, you know.
Oh man, I was that way with like pop music, because like in high school I was in the closet, and now I'm out as like a queer guy. But I like you know, when I was like 19, I saw Pink live, and I was like, I can't tell my friends. I know every word, but I can't tell my friends.
Yeah.
I can tell strangers at the concert, but I can't tell my friends.
Check this out. I used to actually like know part of one of NSYNC's like choreographed dances because my brother and his friends were doing it. Like, oh, we need an extra person to do it. So they I learned part of it just so they can have an even number of people doing it. And like I would be mortified if any of my friends do that.
Dude.
Not that, but you know.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
And you're doing it on the show on the 4th. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Psyched.
Let's say open. We're gonna drop that song and then
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Bye. Here we go. I gotta brush up. Gotta brush up on
it. Gotta brush up.
Oh man.
Oh man is right. That's awesome. I like that. We're being honest.
Yeah.
I do. It's fun, and that's part of comedy. Like, and we all know this, but like anybody who listens to this interview, like you got to be able to make fun of yourself. You got to be able to know that you're goofy and that people are goofy.
Let out on this show too. Like I've been writing some new stuff. I got some secrets I'm gonna let out. It's right around here.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice. I think for me the key to comedy is just go all out goof, be the goofiest, be an extremely goofy movie if you can, that's only if that's like your core being, which that definitely is for me. You got to explore that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't say what it is because it definitely breaks FCC guidelines, but like there's like a topic that I've been talking about a lot in my comedy, and Marlia Rose, who I hope to have an interview with at some point, she like makes fun of me for it because it's like one of the few things I talk about, and it doesn't seem to match my personality, even though it absolutely does. And and I've been like, when she's there, I've been opening my sets with, "So I do this, anyways."
Dude. Yeah, it's just that truth, no matter what your truth is, you got to go for it.
You got to go for it, and you got to run with it, and hope people can relate. Because a lot of what we talk about is uncomfortable stuff. It's stuff that people don't like talking about, and if it catches them off guard, they're gonna laugh.
Exactly, and it's just that perspective that we give. Whether you're doing NSYNC dances and learning that, whether you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh behind the scenes, as long as we're just bringing our perspective, and as long as folks are keeping an open mind, it's always solid.
Yeah. It's great. It's one of my favorite things. Was I did a show at this venue actually, and there was an older gentleman who I'll leave nameless because I don't know if he wants to be named, but he had seen me perform before, and after my set he went, "Man, that was disgusting." I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I enjoyed it, but that was gross. It's like, I'll take it. Thanks, man.
I don't know.
I just invited one of the parents of my students. I was like, hey, she should be 18 now, so it's an 18 plus show. So like, this girl's one of my favorite students. We like hated each other when I first started working there, but then afterwards we just like grew so close.
That's cool.
That's like my little daughter right there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I've had plenty of jobs, not plenty, but a couple of jobs where I had to work closely with like little kids. Like I worked I ran or helped run. Shouldn't say I ran it, but I helped run a kids bowling league at one point. And like I miss these families. Like I'm only in touch with one of them anymore. But at the time it was like, like 2-3 dozen families of little kids, and I got close with like the parents and stuff. I miss that.
That's awesome.
I used to be a teacher, so like everybody had their own like group of advisees who you'd have to be in charge of calling their parents to keep them updated on the grades and stuff like that. So I have like this group of kids, and some of them, their parents, I still like sometimes the kid will hit me up on my birthday, be like, "Hey, Mr. James, happy birthday!" I'm like, "Okay." So,
that's very cool.
Real ones. Those are some real kids, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's exciting. I love that.
Yeah. I think I'm like in touch with like 0 teachers from school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm in touch with some.
Yeah, I got to come. There's one I've been looking for. I can't find him. That dude is like, I'm not even. He was kind of old back then. I was like 7th grade, so like I'm trying to tell him. He's like, he used to always tell me. He was like, I know guys like you, think you're funny, think you're tough, think you're cool. But you always come back to me and let me know that I was right about this and that. He's like, come on. He's like, I've been around. I'm not new to this. And I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. He's like, yeah, they all say that. And I definitely want to go back. I'm like, hey, dude, you were actually right. Like
you
hey,
must love that.
Right, so I want to be like, hey, dude, you're actually right. So like, you get another one, man. Like he deserves it. He deserves it. I was a jerk to that teacher, absolutely. But he was kind of like on the low, kind of cool. Like he definitely got us in trouble, but sometimes he did certain things to like kind of get us in trouble. But like it would be easy on him, like. So one day there was like this like big set of stairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had to go down those stairs, and then go out the building and get our bus. So like one day we were running late, and because they sold candy at the end of the day, so we'd always bought candy. We were running late one day, so we got our candy, ran through the hallways, and then jumped down these gigantic set of steps. And then we like all did it, and then. It was like 7 of us jumped down the stairs and ran to the bus. So this teacher sees us. He goes, "Hey, Dominique and friends," because I was the only one he knew. He goes, "Why don't you guys come over here?" And this is a teacher I was a jerk to. We were just like, "Yeah, all right," and just kept running and left.
Nice.
Every day we did that. We like jumped down those stairs and ran, even when we didn't have to, just because we knew he was gonna be there. So we jumped down, ran. It's like every day, hey, Dominique and friends, Dominique and pals, Dominique and the gang, whatever. He come over here. We were just like laughing in his face and running. On Friday, we did it on Friday without fail. And he's there, laughed in his face, took off running. And then when we get to the stairs, we had to go up to exit the building. He had like 4 or 5 of the teachers right there. And then he had 2 teachers with him. And we were like, oh, so then held us, and then the assistant principal came and was like, all right, what do you want to do with these guys? He's like, what time is it? He looked at his watch. He's like, you know what? He was like, let's just hold them for like another 10 minutes, let the buses go, and let them have to call their parents and explain what happened. And we were like, oh man, like he doesn't even want us to get in trouble in school. He just wants us to like, go ahead, explain to the parents what happened. And like, luckily, we had some pretty cool parents, and then like my dad was always one of the ones that picked us up and like dropped us to the movies. Like, we had parents like that. So then like, and we were all on the same bus. We lived in the same neighborhood. So 2 parents came to pick us up, and it was fine. But like we were scared to death, and like it was just, and like looking back on that, I was like, that's some cool stuff to do,
Absolutely,
definitely. Real teachers know how to like waste your time outside of school.
Exactly.
Because that's the most important thing to do. That's all we have when we were kids. Was just weekends. Definitely take up as much as possible.
And don't let your summer get messed up. Let your summer get messed up. Now you've really been vested.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I'm very lucky. There's a teacher that like, I'm sure we all have these like high school or middle school teachers who like helped shape who we are now. And one of them, Mr. White, Paul White, I run into him. He's got to be like 90. I run into him periodically. We live in the same town. And he like, not only does he remember who I am, he'll talk to me about like how I failed Latin class, and he'll give me crap for it. And it's just like, oh, you awesome man. Like, you not only remember me, but you were so pivotal in my upbringing, and I don't even know if you know that, but it was just like the fact that you remember my name, even though I look nothing like I did then, means the world to me. Like, I love it. Like, he'll come in. I frequent a diner down the street from my house, and he comes in regularly, and he's like, oh, hey, Max. It's like, oh, Mr. White.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. I if I could, I would take his class forever. Even though I was terrible at it. I could just listen to him monologue every day.
They turned up the student and her mom are coming. Nice. They're coming to the show. Look at that.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's cool.
That's
sorry.
awesome.
I just like straight up blurted that.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I am going to plug the show. If people are interested in seeing the three of us and Sam Mangano perform, it is this Friday, February 4th at 10 p.m. at One Broadway Collaborative. People are welcome to come. Like I said, it's 18 plus unless you're with a parent. And that's obviously up to the parent's discretion. For ticket information or any information, you can either follow me at Malice Comedy on Instagram, or you can go to onebroadway.org, and the information's there as well. I'm baffled that Aaron got the rights to onebroadway.org. That sounds like something that would have to be in New York.
Yeah.
Not. But it should be a lot of fun. I do want to wrap this up, but where can listeners find you guys on social media or your comedy anywhere?
Yeah, so I'll just say you can find me at Xavier Maurice _ on Instagram. That's kind of where I'm mostly posting about a lot of stuff. And if you're so inclined, if you're just so truly inclined, my Twitter is Rowan Maurice, RoenMaurice on Twitter.com. I post a lot of ridiculous things, and I use my Photoshop software to aid in that. So yeah. Very
cool. What about you, Dominique?
All right. You can find me on Instagram at Niqueoh. That's NIQUEOHH, all one word. I don't know if the caps matter, but no caps. Yeah, so that's my Instagram. That's where I do most of my posting. And if you're a foodie, if you like food, I'm gonna start a food page very soon. It's gonna be, because I'm a chef. I do it all. I do savory food. I do pastries. I have a pastry art degree. I currently work in savory food. So I do it all. So very soon there is a food page coming, a foodie page coming. But check out my Instagram. Follow me for updates on where I'll be and all this good stuff. And foodie page coming real soon.
Tom, what are you thinking about calling this food page? I'm pumped.
Oh, I had a name for it was gonna be like a thing. I was gonna do like a podcast with food, shoes, and food, shoes, and comedy. So it's gonna be Cooks and Comics, Kicks and Cooks.
Yo,
yeah, Kicks and Cooks.
I'm already subscribing. So
yeah, me too.
Listen out, Kicks and Cooks page coming soon.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Well, thank you guys for doing this. The show is Friday the 4th at 10 p.m. Immediately following Songwriters of the Round at 7 p.m. I'm performing in both. The event is in person, and it is also live streamed. For more information, go to onebroadway.org if you're so inclined. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll see you Friday.
All right.
See you Friday.
See you folks there.
All right.
See ya.
Bye-bye.